Good morning. Wazzle Wizzle, what a weekend. I mean, you thought I was happy yesterday morning, and then Sunday happened. Wow, welcome to Hug Nation's Love Morning. Welcome, Love Ambassadors. This is a chance to share what we're grateful for and to just remind ourselves who we want to be today. What do we want to embody? What characteristics? If at the end of the day we say, yeah, today I was compassionate, I was patient, I was kind, I shared compliments, I focused on gratitude, I looked for opportunities to connect to fellow human beings in the world, I treated my body well. These are just suggestions. You could add whatever you want to the list. So let's think of how we want to do that today, and let's think of something in our world that we're appreciating, some incredible thing that happened, like I'm about to share a couple, or some mundane things that we have taken for granted. Welcome. And as always, I start with a song from here. And if you're gonna sit with me, just lend a little ear. 'Cause we share the good things and the bad, if the bad can be tweaked. So that when you have a real bad smell, it's not just that it reeked, it's also that it taught you something that you bring into your life. And even it's happy stuff that sometimes twinge with strife. So let's have a love morning and gather all around. Add your voices and we'll share this joyous sound. Good morning. Sometimes the improv song works and sometimes it does not. I would say that one, I'm going to give myself an A for that one. Good morning, Gerbot. Thank you for saying hello and thank you for being here. If you are here, say hello, leave a comment. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube right now, so you might not see all the comments, but I will, and I will try to share your words, your gratitude with all who might listen now or who will watch this recording later. Good morning, Jennifer. Oh my goodness gracious, did I have a weekend. So yesterday morning, I was so filled, so grateful, so just like inspired by the men's day that we did in Saturday in Santa Barbara. From 9 to 4, a group of 20 of us that just got really vulnerable and courageous. And I learned a lot. I think we all, as these were pretty self-aware, very self-aware men that trusted each other so quickly to share the edges and the tough stuff. And I over and over, I was like, whoa, I hadn't thought of it like that. And oh, wow, that's an experience that I didn't realize I was afraid of. And so it was so good. And in the follow-up, we've got a WhatsApp thread. Already, the men are sharing examples of how what they took from our gathering, they then put into practice in their relationships. Two people have already said, I saw this happening. I saw the change. I interacted with my partner, and it was a in a better direction. And my partner was so appreciative, and I was like, holy crap. It's one thing to have a workshop and be like, yay, and get all pumped up and, leave the Tony Robbins like, yay. It's another thing to be like, okay, integrate it. So so yesterday morning I was already like, wow, what a weekend. And I was so wow, what a weekend that I had totally forgotten that yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of our daily gratitude circles that we started during COVID. Or I started during COVID, and that are still going 3 times a day now. And thank goodness Pierre, I don't go live on Instagram because it's hard to do it all at the same time, and Instagram gives me tech trouble. So thank you for letting me know, Linnea. But yeah. So I get here sharing all this glory, And Pierre goes, "Hi, I'm grateful for the 5th anniversary of gratitude." And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so focused on, I was pretty nervous about the men's group and excited. And so yesterday morning, thank goodness Pierre said something, because it was a day of activities. I show up to the noon gratitude and it is packed with regulars and people who've been regulars in the past and people who had important experiences or growth or had really been helped through transitions over the last 5 years. And so normally the gratitude is 30 minutes max. And it was 2 hours of story after story of how this practice and this community had transformed lives. And a lot of gratitude for me for creating the space and creating the container and, hosting and setting the direction that we walk together on the path, and recognizing and hearing and feeling the growth, the tears, the gratitude, the transformation from so many people. It was overwhelming. I thankfully we recorded it so I can rewatch, because there were times when I was just like almost dizzy, like what wow. So to have wait, there's even more of my weekend, and I'll whatever you're grateful for, I want to hear in a second, but I'll finish this. So Saturday men's group, so rewarding. So great to work with Ishmael. The men that gathered, so amazing. I think the best gathering of its type I've ever been a part of by far. So yeah, that felt so good. I want to be going in this direction in my life. I want to be going this direction professionally. Saturday gratitude circle. Oh my gosh, this thing I've been doing, it matters. It's important. Yeah. Then after the gratitude, Lisa and I. Well, first we stopped by our new gym, which was closed, but at least I got to go through the door, which was a huge step for me. Then we went over to my parents' house. And so filled with all of this joy, I got to tell my parents about my weekend and then thank them for all that they did to help me be where I am, and all the ways that they helped me to have the courage to follow my heart, all the ways they made things accessible to me. And it just felt so good to thank them and to get to see this is, they put a lot of work into this project of me, and to get to see it blossom, and so to see the ripples they put into me, putting those ripples into the world, and seeing those ripples go into the world. It's like, it was just so awesome to be able to share that with them. And then I got to tell my dad, kind of aside and look him in the eyes and say, "Dad, after spending the day with a bunch of men and talking about our dads and our struggles, and I just want to say I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for being such a great dad. Thank you." And it's like, oh, it felt so good. It felt so good to tell him that and feel it land. So I said it was the best weekend ever, which was a little bit of a fib, because it was really the most rewarding weekend. I did spend time with Lisa, but my best weekends ever have been with Lisa. So I was kind of a little clickbait there. I know, you can take it out on me later. Awesome, Linnea. Linnea says, "I became aware of you by way of Brad Swanson." Sweet. Brad is here? Well, hello. Hello to you both. Good morning. What are you grateful for? Let me know. Chris, are you back home? Chris says, "I'm grateful for a wonderful weekend in California, but especially the opportunity to gather with 18 other men in a sacred circle." Yeah, Christopher was one of our brothers. And man, we had some people that it was our first men's group. We had some people that have been in men's group for decades and decades. But it was like, we almost instantly, as we sat down, it just like, there was like this trust. And we started with gratitude. We started popcorning gratitude. And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so good here. I feel so safe. I feel so, thanks for being a part of it, Chris. And thank you for, it was not easy for you to be there. It took effort. So thank you for trusting yourself and me. I really hope that you got as much out of it as I did. Good morning, Hope. Good morning. And I didn't want to skip that. Gerbot, thank you for noticing my song. And if you came in late, you might want to watch the archive because my improv song that I started with today, it was great. I'm just going to say it. It was great. And I don't say that all the time. Most days it is, I'd say B minus. Today, it was great. Jennifer says, congratulations. What you do makes a difference. Thank you. I think it's important to remember that we're always making a difference. Every day we have impact in the world, whether it's the trash we put in the trash can or the energy that we give to the cashier as we're checking out, always we are creating ripples in the world. From that space, part of the reason we have these morning check-ins, is ambassador meetups, is so that you can go, okay, I'm going to put ripples in the world today. What do I want them to be? And when you think like that, it just changes the way that you do stuff and the doors you open and maybe the doors you decide to knock instead of barge through and things like that. Thank you, Jennifer. Hope says, we were talking about your circle this weekend. Oh, your friend is there. Oh, awesome. He's great. I mean, everybody contributed in a big way. Like every single person made it better. Jennifer is grateful for a future of possibilities, even though I'm going to be poor. Grateful for friends and family. Yes, for friends and family. And holding you with trust and faith. Thanks, Jennifer. Anyone else have some gratitude they want to share? I am grateful for getting to be present as Lisa and my parents and I all hung out together and to see Lisa and my mom talk about singing and choir. It sounds like my mom is going to join Lisa's upcoming choir in San Diego in May. Lisa's got choirs that she's going to be leading in San Diego and Monterey in May, singing a collection of songs, some originals by Lisa, some by Ma Muse, one by Crosby, Stills and Nash. So if you're interested in choir or you like to sing, and it's not an audition thing. I don't know if you're a good singer. Like my mom kept saying, like, oh, I'm not a good singer, even though she sings every weekend in her church. But she said, I go, Mom, can I make a request that you never say that to Lisa again, that you can't sing? And my mom goes, I enjoy singing. And I was like, yes, yes. Hope says, grateful for you and this morning discipline. Thank you. I've been feeling it's something that my old me did not identify as someone who was, could commit to things. You know, for years, I finally realized it was just that I couldn't commit to a romantic partnership. But like 5 years of gratitude circles daily, that's a commitment. Coming here every morning, that's a commitment. 15 years of First Saturdays, that's a commitment. So when Lisa said yes to my marriage proposal, she better be sure because I'm committing. And that was a really wonderful thing to experience during the gratitude circle, because you know, if you've ever attended our gratitude circles in Zoom every day, noon, 6 and 3 a.m., I'm usually hosting the one at noon, but it's not always a huge crowd. Yesterday it was a huge crowd, but it's sometimes 5 to 8 people. You know, it's a nice, wonderful group, but it's not like if you were working on a project for 5 years and you grew your audience to 5 people, you would probably be disappointed. However, so many people in the circle shared how meaningful it was that the gratitude group was there every day, and they knew it was there, so that when they hit a place where they needed help or they were struggling, they knew they could come in and be in a space that was loving and accepting and that would hold them in love. In fact, one one beautiful man who just lost his mother, who was saying that, upon his mother's passing, he realized that the only other place where he knew he could get unconditional love was in our gratitude circle. So sure, have I failed to grow a online community to a dizzying number that gets acquired by Google or Facebook? No, but that was never really the goal. And I think after hearing the stories yesterday, I feel like massively successful. Massively successful. And if you don't know the origins, it started during the beginning of COVID. I was in Costa Rica when lockdown started. I thought about staying and then realized, you know what, I think I should come home because I have more experience with online connection, doing hugs online for 20 years than probably anybody. And as I meditated on how can I be of service in this lockdown world, I just got this download: do gratitude circles twice a day. And I'm still going with the help of beautiful love ambassadors like you guys. Gerbot says, grateful for my body's ability to heal itself. Whew. I'm feeling that. I'm having my shoulders starting to act up, and I'm really trying to be in partnership with my healing and not fight against it. Also, my brother had surgery last week on his knee, and that is healing, but it's just such a reminder of the incredible resilience and power of our bodies, and how much reverence we need to show for it. Thank you, Gerbot. Hope says, when I lost my John, I found you. My John, I guess maybe is a better way to phrase that. So, the universe works in beautiful ways. Thank you, Gerbot. Gerbot is grateful for a cross sea practice. Is that a thing I should know? I'm grateful that Lisa is so patient with my unruly face and hair, and that I know she loves me no matter what. Anyone else want to share any gratitude before we head out into the day and share this accumulated collective vibe with the world? So grateful to share this practice with you, Gerbot. Something in the men's group, it's so clear, it was so obvious, and it's so clear here, and it's so clear in the gratitude circles. It's actually, I mentioned this at the beginning of the men's group. I said there is lots of, let me say how I would say this. The path of personal growth involves a lot of personal work, and it requires community. If you are just continually annihilating your ego and blowing yourself open and, removing the layers of stuff, you really need to have a container that can hold you so that you don't shock the system or get overwhelmed with fear. Like when you are in a raw state, to have community, be like, we got you, we love you, the real you, keep going, we got you. Like community is the soil that then lets that seed that has been thawed out, it needs the soil to really give it the nutrients and grow. And so I'm a big believer that it is a collaboration between you and community that facilitates the deepest healing. And the deepest healing not only benefits you, but heals the community and the world. Gerbot says, I got interrupted by my pocket call from my dad. Grateful for the time that I still have with him. So the men's group, we talked a lot about grief. And wow, grief has been, on my mind. We got Janus here on the wall. His memorial is this weekend, and I am the Masters of Ceremonies for the ceremony. So I'm now shifting gears from gratitude, celebration, and men's group into memorial. Although I just finished the podcast episode memorial for him, but it's not live yet. Soon. Anyway, my point is, after focusing and being real, even as much as I have been grieving and practicing and working on grief over the last 2.5 months, it was so helpful to get insight and hear experiences and reflections of other men and their struggles with grief, or ways that they have been blocked, and ways that, it was so helpful, and really made me feel this weekend as I was with my parents, so attuned to the preciousness, which is, I think, why it was so important to look into my dad's eyes and thank him and tell him I love him and that he's a good dad. It was great. I think I showed the picture yesterday of Ishmael and I, and Christopher was bringing up that we had Wiz, which is Wizard Riz, the Wizard of Oz. I wonder if I can throw in maybe not. We'll see. Come on. Anyone else want to share any gratitudes before we go? Oh, here's the shot of Chris and Ishmael and I, the Rizzards. Yeah. Look at those bearded men, heart-centered men. What's going on? Hey, Chris. Wonderful to see you. Good morning. And other last gratitudes? I'm going to put on one more image on the screen and show you a little screenshot from the gratitude group yesterday. It's going to let me. Let's see. This is part of the hug. We got people that have been there for years and shared so many life chapters and it was so good to get check-ins from people all around the world. It's awesome. So grateful for the experience. Chris saying, I have to be honest, part of the appeal is the sojourn. I'm removed from my default world to a wonderful space on a mountain. It would be less of a draw if the gathering was in the basement of a church after a local AA meeting here in Chicago, which might seem shallow. No, I think that that's totally legit. The reason why retreats are where retreats are is to put space between the world and the work. And then, ideally, just like Burning Man, you don't keep it totally separate. You have the safe space to grow, and then you integrate. I think that's the way it's supposed to be. Gerbot says, also grateful that Dad continues to live a full life filled with friends and activities as he carries on without Mom, sans Mom. That's rad. I really wonder how my parents will do solo, but I will be there for them one way or the other. Linnea says, gratitude for you sharing your journey and creating community. Your ripple is immeasurable. Thank you. I definitely have times when I feel, part of my inner voices are like, you could do so much more, like in the year 2000, I was being flown around by agencies to try to make me famous, and I didn't, make it work. And I see people who are peers being having massive followings, and it's like, I I've been trying to, I really made my focus about trying to have integrity and just trust the ripples. So it means a lot to hear that. Thank you. Good morning, Eileen. Says, grateful I could stop by this morning to find your warm community. Well, thanks for being a part of it. Nice and toasty. So many people, so many ripples. Indeed. Yeah, and that's something that I also forget about is like if I rented out an amphitheater, I don't know if I could fill it, but I know that over time, the number of people that have been in spaces like this, there's 12 of us here right now, it looks like, but 12 people every day over time. And just like First Saturdays, like sometimes I go, why? A different person would have turned First Saturdays into a nationwide homeless outreach thing. And we're just in San Diego. But every month, that's another couple hundred people and 100 volunteers that each get, feel the ripples, feel the ripples, feel the ripples. So it's, I kind of, my faith is that it's less about trying to create a massive mountain and instead try to create consistent ripples. Back to our theme of consistency. Small actions consistently over time create great things. Good morning, Steve. All right. Well, with that, I think we'll have a hug and head out into our days. Wow. Oh, did you notice a Hug Monster sitting behind me? I just got a new green screen that I'm going to try to test out today, I believe. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much. Whether you've ever been to a gratitude circle or we've ever shared a hug or a pink ride, thank you for this moment. Thank you for this now recognition of our shared human experience and for the recognition that as we see and know that each other exist, it helps to flavor the world. It helps to remind us of all that's good so that we can make our ripples include that good, include that love. Chris says, I'm grateful for create great things and memories. Well, with that, let's create a memory together, and wherever you are, give yourself a squeeze as I used to do with Grandpa Caleb in 2002, 2003, 2004. And as we are holding ourselves, feel connected in this moment beyond the physical. Let yourself just feel held. It's not your arms, it's my arms, it's all that are here. It's Grandpa Caleb's arms, it's Janusa's arms, it's all the men in my men's circle, all the people that have been in our gratitude circles, all the people that are here on any day ever. In this moment, feel us all connecting in this place beyond time and space, that shared humanity, that shared oneness of love. As we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you, thanks for being here for this Hug Nation Love Morning. Luann is grateful for another week with endless possibilities. Have a great week, everyone. Enjoy your day.